To begin our unit on acids and bases, we're going to go over the properties. The first thing you're going to notice on almost all acids is they're going to begin with an H. And that's because the first definition is that an H plus in water makes water acidic. Okay, and we'll get to that in a second. But our properties here for our acids and our bases are side by side. And the first one you know really well. Acids are sour. So that sugar coating that you have on candies, that white sugar coating, is basically an acid. Okay, it's usually acetic acid, but other acids can be used. Bases usually taste bitter, like soap. So one thing to know about bases is they're slippery. Soap is slippery, and if you ever get bleach on your hands feel slippery. Bleach is a base. And when you wash it off, the slippery goes away, so you know it's gone. Litmus paper turns red with acids. It turns blue with bases. And we're going to get into pH. And pH for acids are at the low end, 1 to 6.9, and pH of base is 7.1 to 14. Neutral, where acids and bases are even, is a pH of 7. Both of these acids and bases conduct electricity. They're both electrolytes. And if I take an acid and put it with a base, that's called a neutralization reaction, and it makes a salt in a water. So we're going to go over naming acids in our workbook in a second. But to begin with, we're going to go over the first definition you will have for your acids and bases, and that's the Arrhenius acids and bases. So Arrhenius acid increases the H plus in solution. So when I dissolve any of these acids, they ionize to H plus and Cl minus, H plus and F minus. And this is hydrochloric acid, hydrofluoric acid, sulfuric acid, and acetic acid. And acetic acid is one that you're going to see a lot that doesn't start with an H. Acetic acid is one that you're going to see that doesn't always start with an H. You usually see it written like this, but it is an acid, so the COOH at the ending of pretty much any organic molecule is going to be an acid, and they write it based on structure. So I have CH3, there's my CH3, and then coming from that I have my C, my double bonded O, and an OH. And this you don't need to know, but this ending is called a carboxylic acid. Okay, so acetic acid is a carboxylic acid. But in any case, that's why you see it written not with the H forward like most acids. So for the Arrhenius base, a base increases the OH concentration in water, so sodium hydroxide, lithium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, and that's our first simple definition of an acid and base, and you should recognize it by acids. We'll start with these H's, unless it's acetic acid, then you'll see the COOH, the CHU at the end, and bases will always end in OH for our Arrhenius definition.